pleasure to bring to you the highly anticipated and prestigious first annual Women of Achievement Awards presented to you today by Beaumont. Please welcome once again to the stage the President of the Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber of Commerce, Ron Henricks.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that fantastic lunch. I thought it was great, and I know the members of my table really enjoyed that. So let's give Tony and her staff at the Holiday Inn, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Tony, I see you in the back, so wave your hands. There she is. Thank you, Tony. I actually saw a couple of good friends of mine in the audience while we were having lunch, and I want to recognize them. They're both elected officials, and shame on you guys for not letting me know you were here. So, the city treasurer of the city of Trenton, Mike McCullough. Mike, please wave your hand or stand up. Thank you so much for being here. There he is. And he told me not to recognize him, but how can I not? I'm a resident of Riverview, the former mayor of Riverview, Tim Duran. Thank you, Tim, for being here. So at this point, we are going to begin the highly anticipated Women of Achievement Awards. And again, I would like to thank Beaumont for presenting this event, really putting a lot of confidence into us, this being our first year. And I see Judith McNeely is here. Judith, I've known you for a couple of years now. And it's always a pleasure working with Judith and now Jeffrey Chicone as well. And Millie Jones, who's joining our board of directors. And I want to introduce and welcome Millie, Vice President of Operations at Beaumont Trenton, to the stage to speak to us on behalf of Beaumont. Thank you so much, Millie.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed your lunch on this beautiful autumn day. I'm proud to be here and represent Beaumont Health and to serve the people of Southern Wayne County as the Vice President of Operations at Beaumont Trenton. Beaumont has enjoyed a long-standing relationship with Southern Wayne County Regional Chapter, and we are privileged to sponsor this wonderful, extraordinary event and honoring the women and their remarkable achievements and what they've done, and we've benefited from all of them as they've served the community, their family, and our friends. Healthcare in particular depends on talent, expertise, and the commitment of women in the community. As Michigan's largest healthcare provider and the 5th largest employer in the state, Beaumont is the place where women and men can follow their passion, grow and enjoy and flourish in their careers in the health setting. We at Beaumont are here to serve the diverse population of Southern Wayne County with our hospitals in Taylor and Trenton, our physician offices, our therapy centers, our health centers, our school-based clinics, all the way through into the homes of everyone in the community through our home care company. We'd like to partner with you and provide you and your families and provide you with high-quality specialty care, whether it be an annual checkup at a physician office, all the way to an extensive care through a serious illness or a motor vehicle accident, of which that we hope it doesn't touch any of our lives. From the Karen Kalina Wilson Smith-Bauer Breast Center, the Robotic Surgery Center, the trauma services that we offer at Beaumont Trenton, to the orthopedic, rehab center, and mental health services that we provide at Beaumont Taylor. We provide a wide range of world-class medicine and world-class expertise right here in Downriver for the community. To all the honorees of the Women of Achievement, congratulations, and thank you to all of them. And to you, thank you for entrusting us with you and your family's health and the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millie. And again, it's an honor to work with Beaumont today. And I'm looking forward to having Millie Jones on our board of directors in January. I think that's really going to be a tremendous addition to our board. Very bright individual, and looking forward to that. I do want to introduce our keynote speaker at this time, but I just want to say a couple of things about her. First, When we originally were planning this event and this awards ceremony, I felt that it was critical to have a keynote speaker really to inspire our attendees, to inspire the women in our region, and in a way, inspire the men as well. And you'll see in a little bit we are honoring a businessman in our region with the Community Award as a part of this event. But as we were considering, well, who would be the perfect keynote speaker? And really, there's Donna Inch. Her name immediately came right at the top of mind. There's no better person for the first annual Women of Achievement Awards than Donna Inch. As I introduce her and I read a little bit from her biography, I think you'll see why. I've known Donna for a couple of years. Previously, I worked for the Dearborn Chamber of Commerce. And Donna really is a tremendous supporter of our community is a tremendous role model for women and men, I believe, throughout not just Metro Detroit, but really our entire nation, working for an international automaker, Ford Motor Company. And she really has a storied career at Ford. So I do want to read a little bit from her biography so you have an idea of why I invited her to come today. And we're so grateful that she accepted that invitation. Donna Inch has recently retired as chairman and CEO of Ford Motor Land Development Corporation, known as Ford Land, the real estate arm and wholly owned subsidiary of Ford Motor Company. Appointed to this position in January 2010, Inch had global responsibility for real estate, engineering and construction, energy supply and efficiency, facility management services, and workplace design for Ford. In this position, Donna implemented a global skill team for the operation with common processes and standards used across the world for facility construction, maintenance, and workplace strategies. Donna joined Ford in 1978 as an industrial relations analyst. She has held a series of finance and management positions in Ford Customer Service Division, marketing and sales, product development, and other automotive operations. Before joining Ford Land, Donna served as Finance Director, Ford Customer Service Division, where she was responsible for financial analysis, budgeting, forecasting, long-range business planning, and internal control, as well as responsibility for global warranty administration. Now listen to these. I want to share a little bit of the nonprofit organizations that she serves, and then also some of the awards and recognitions. She serves on the board, executive committee, and chairman of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, a board member with Haven Prevention and Shelter for Sexual Assault, Domestic Violence Victims. She serves on the board of trustees for the Historic Ford Estate, Executive Leadership Council for CoreNet Global Association of Global Corporate Real Estate Leaders. And now this is very interesting. She serves on the board of governors for the Dearborn Country Club, but she was the first female president of the Dearborn Country Club, which has a long history of male leadership in 2015 to 2016. Now, some of her awards and recognition, and again, there's a very long list, so I'm only going to mention a couple of these. 100 Most Influential Women and 50 Names to Know in Real Estate in Detroit, Crane's Detroit Business in 2016. Women of Courage and Achievement, Michigan Women's Foundation 2015. Honoree Women and Leadership in the Workplace, Michigan Business and Professional Association in 2014. Powered by Women, D-Business Magazine in 2013. Women Who Lead, WJR Radio in 2013. An inductee to the Midwest Real Estate Hall of Fame in 2011. Top Women to Watch and Newsmaker from Crane's Detroit Business in 2010. Top Women in Finance, Treasury, and Risk magazine in 2009, and you wonder why I asked her to be our keynote for the first annual Women of Achievement Awards. She's married to her husband, Howard, and she has 2 grown children, one of them who I actually went to high school with. So it's such an honor. And real privilege to introduce Donna Inch and welcome her as our first keynote speaker of this event. Donna, thank you so much.
Wow, did that make me feel old? Yeah, that is so funny when I found that out that he was my son. Right? Yeah. Gosh, it is just tremendous to be here. I'm really pleased and so thankful to Ron for inviting me to come. And, you know, I love interacting with the community, but also, you know, something that's going to honor women, I think, is something I've had a special place in my heart for. And I'm sorry I have to put my glasses on. I don't know how many of you can read without glasses. I can't. So anyway, I have a few notes because heaven forbid I would stray off of what I have, because I could keep us here a long time if I did that. So bear with me on that. I would like to really thank Ron for inviting me and the Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber. This is a great event, and I felt like it was really important to support it when he asked me, and I was honored to be asked. I also want to thank Beaumont and all the other sponsors for really making this happen. And you know, what a wonderful event this is. I think this type of recognition is just really important to spotlight, you know, great people doing great things, having great achievements. So, you know, thank you so much. And, you know, you're going to hear more about the award winners in a little bit. So regarding those award winners, I wanted to extend my congrats to Kathy Kane for leadership. You're going to hear more about this. Leah Cooley for being an unsung heroine. Lori Dixon for entrepreneurship. And, of course, my friend Stan Jensen for actively supporting women and receiving the community award. So I'd like to give them a round of applause. First, a couple of rounds. So when Ron invited me to join today, he mentioned that I should share some of my journey and maybe a little, you know, sage wisdom of things that I could pass along. And I thought to myself, okay, I have the sage, I don't know if I have the wisdom, but I would try to come up with some thoughts that might be, you know, intriguing to you guys from my experiences, and maybe help you pursue your own great achievements, of course, because everybody has them in them to do great things. So Ron shared a little bit about me and my background, and I thought I'd try to fill in a little bit, although you shared a lot, which is very nice. You know, no two journeys are the same, and you know, so we all have a separate path, but there are things I think we can learn and share with each other, pass along, that would help us succeed. So that's what I'm going to try to do a little bit of today. So a quick background, my education at Eastern Michigan University was focused in finance. That was my major in both undergrad and grad school. I worked at a bank all through college, so you know, finance was sort of my thing. Then I joined Ford Motor Company, and I joined right out of college. And what's interesting when I think back about it is, I joined Ford because I loved the company. I had no grand plan for my career whatsoever. And I thought about that over time, and I've learned that, you know, you can start anywhere and still create a successful path for yourself. And just like everyone in business, as I mentioned, it's, you know, I had a unique path. When I retired at the end of the year, I had almost 39 years with Ford, which, by the way, went by really fast for all you younger people out there. It goes by fast. Although with one company, I had the just great fortune to be able to do a lot of different things. Very diverse assignments and tremendous positions that I had over the years. So for the majority of my career, as Ron mentioned, I was in the finance function, and I supported a lot of different activities, all in the automotive side of business. So I worked directly with manufacturing, product development, marketing and sales, as mentioned, corporate staffs, customer service division, which was, by the way, a really cool place to work because it's everything in the automotive business that touches the customer. Everything that happens to you when you drive a car out of a dealership, the customer service division is involved in. So I really love that part of the business. I had a great experience and the opportunity to learn everything I could about, you know, what makes the automotive business successful. And, you know, second, I want to emphasize, you know, how important learning is to success. So then, late in 2009, with already over 30 years of experience in the automotive business, I was asked to take on this leadership role, Chairman and CEO of Ford Land Development Corporation, which, as Ron said, subsidiary of Ford that handles all the global real estate, you know, construction, energy, facility management, dealership design, workplace design, all that great stuff. And what a fantastic opportunity that was. And you may say, why did they pick somebody who had never been in real estate to head up the real estate part of the business? And just between you and I had the exact same question. So then I quickly realized and sort of understood the strategy that, there are things that I could bring to that organization. And, one of them I thought was leadership. And by the way, we're honoring leadership in every award recipient today. So it's very, very important. I also could bring, I thought, and I hope I did, a strategic focus to the organization of where we were going. And, an understanding of the core automotive business that I spent all these years learning about and how that organization could better serve our core automotive business and how all the dots connected. So those are the things that I decided I would try to add, and that's where all the years of learning really paid off for me in that way. So I came to this new project company. I wanted to learn quickly. I wanted to make a difference, and I really am proud of what we accomplished in the 7 years that I was at Ford Land. And by the way, I want to say hi to the Ford Land table of people. Raise your hand. So when I got there, same as today, but there was a tremendous amount of work, very exciting work, that needed to be done. And some of the key things that I think we accomplished were a little bit of what Ron mentioned, but we really did develop a true global team, which is not that easy to do, but it was important for the operation. And we developed common operating processes and metrics. We had to continually evaluate and manage a large portfolio, 275 million square feet across the globe, and make sure we were using these assets properly. We built numerous manufacturing plants, primarily in Asia. We had to repurpose and decommission plants in North America. I think we successfully renewed the strategy for our 5 million square feet of commercial buildings in our portfolio. And then all around the world, we had to accommodate growth. Ford was growing everywhere. So we sometimes had to do some very innovative things. And one example of that is repurposing a large retail building, which we did in Dearborn at the Fairlane Town Center. We repurposed what was a Lord & Taylor and other areas. And now we converted 250,000 square feet into great office space. And some of the folks back there were very involved in that. I just think it's one of these innovative things you do that makes a difference in a business, right? And by the way, a lot of people thought we were actually nuts when we decided to do that, but it's worked out really well. I think one of the things I'm most proud of is developing for the first time a 10-year master plan for Ford around all of its facilities, basically. Laying out the plan for maintenance and renovations and new construction with the purpose of really changing the way Ford employees were going to work, changing our environments, making sure that we were going to modern workplaces to drive collaboration and new technology solutions. And then we developed, obviously, an energy strategy for efficiency and sustainability and a lot more. But I mention this stuff because, it's to demonstrate the diversity and dynamics of each person's journey and to emphasize the importance of taking on challenges and opportunities regardless of what stage of career or where you are, because even when, you've been in a company 30 years, they ask you to go do real estate, hey, who knows what that's going to bring, and it was a fantastic thing for me, but everybody can make a difference. Everybody can have an impact, and I really believe that, but you've got to grab and take on those opportunities before you can do that. So I think you can do that and maybe focus on a few strategies that might help you, and that's what I thought I would share a little bit of my thoughts on that. And as I've reflected on my career, I think about how things were different in 1978, as I mentioned. I mean, there are people out here that don't know, couldn't even imagine 1978, so that's a long time ago. And I thought, okay, so I was coming into a large corporate environment as a professional woman in 1978. It was difficult for women to get considered for the key assignments that led to advancement. I mean, it just was a fact. And you felt like you had to work twice as hard versus your male colleagues, to get considered for these assignments. So It was back in that environment that I figured out that I had to quickly learn, work hard, and find a way to influence people to get things done that would add value to the business and demonstrate my capabilities. And the fact that I had to do that way back then, and experienced it back in that time of my career, actually proved really helpful to me over the many years that I then spent at Ford. So thank goodness in today's environment, in our businesses and our workplaces, things have changed. And I think in terms, for sure in terms of women getting key assignments and leadership roles, that's changed a lot. And we're going to recognize women today for great achievements, so you can see that. I think there's still progress we need to make, and I'm really convinced in this next generation of professional women, that's going to happen. But something that I felt has not changed is the value and success of always learning, working hard, and exhibiting true leadership skills. And those three things worked really well for me. And I wanted to share some of my thoughts about it, and maybe something will resonate for you. So relative to learning, of course, we all keep learning, but really never stop learning and always find a way to learn more about your business or the business you want to be part of. And it's important really to become an expert. Become an expert and become somebody that people come to for knowledge. I think it's really important to create the successful path to do that. And also expand your learning in areas that go outside your direct responsibility. And one thing that I learned early on, figure out how all the dots connect, because you become a very valuable person when you do that. So, and then working hard. Of course, we all work hard for success, and everybody understands working hard. But I like to think about it in a little different way. On any job, I think you need to work hard to look around and find out what's not being done that would add value to the business. And if you've studied the success factors, as I talked about learning of your business, you'll have some ideas about that, what's not being done. And then find a way to work on it and to get others to work on it. And no matter where you are in an organization, try to be an influencer to get people to work on those things. So I think that's an element of working hard that we sometimes don't think about. Also, as hopefully we all try to figure out, working hard is not always working more hours, and it's working smarter and with a focus on key priorities. So, when we're all on that treadmill, we got to figure out what are the key priorities, and that'll help you a lot. And I think an innovation mindset, meaning work hard to find new ways of doing things, new processes, new ways to get things done in your business. And being that kind of a leader on innovation, it leads right into the discussion around leadership itself. So last but not least, leadership. While learning and working hard are really critical in my view, I think leadership is the area, is the element that really distinguishes people in our workplaces. That's where you really see the difference in people and how effective they can be by their leadership skills. That's what I observed. So, first of all, in terms of some thoughts, lead by example, of course. The shadow of the leader is really, really important. And, you can be a leader, as I already mentioned, at any level, in any organization or operation. You need to practice these leadership skills, and that comes back to being that influencer all the way through your career, but really practice. But I think a few areas to pay attention to around that shadow of the leader that are important. Integrity. Always do the right thing, set high standards, be ethical in everything you do. That's got to be a no compromise thing, because if you're not, it's always going to come back to get you. And so you want to just always live by that, and you want to demonstrate it. Accountability. Be transparent, accept responsibility, and make sure that business information and assumptions have high integrity when decisions are being made. That's another thing about accountability. Be accountable for the standards. Confidence, inspire confidence and respect. Maintain your high technical standards and be a true team player and inspire confidence in your customers and your colleagues. Another one I think is really important is to be a driver of positive change. So that sounds simple and we all like to do that, but I think it's really easy to get dragged into the negative stuff every day. I don't know about you, but that was, every day it can be negative. So you have to really try to develop an environment around you about can do, and be the person that always finds a way to get it done, and positive about how to get it done. I think it works really well for you long term. And as I mentioned before, focus on a key number of priorities. It helps especially if you're leading a team. It's very helpful. But as the leader, you have to also focus on long-term strategy, the visioning of what's going to come down the road in the future, and embrace the whole innovation mindset. So as a leader, you need to do that while your team is focusing on key priorities in the near term. So all of that's a lot to take in. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention, and it's about some things I became aware of around behaviors. So it's interesting, a lot of people may be good managers, but in effect they're not great leaders. And there's a few things that I ticked off that are changes in behaviors, from a manager to a leader that I think are really important to think about. So think of it this way, from administer to innovate, maintain to develop, status quo to change the status quo, from focusing on how and when to focusing on what and why, from short term to long term, focusing on things to focusing on people, as a leader really needs to do, from relying on control to inspiring trust in your teams, from talking to listening. That one I always had a problem with. From taking credit to giving credit. So, it gives you a sense. This is just a little bit of the way you actually see behaviors in people evolve from a manager to a leader. And, I think it's important to observe these things about yourself, as well as help others observe these things about them. Anyway, I have some other final thoughts about a few attributes. Believe me, I'm almost done, don't worry. But that I've observed that I think are kind of important. Always be tough on issues and delivery, but not on people. You have to hold people accountable, but you also have to always treat people with respect. And in return, you'll be respected. These things are, seem pretty simple, but think about all the people you observe in your daily life. I don't know that everybody's living by that. And I think it's more of a winning strategy. Regarding your family and your non-work life, you need to find a way to develop a support network, and you really need to balance your schedule so that you don't miss the important life events. And everybody is super busy and very dedicated to their jobs, but I'll tell you, it takes a lot of planning, but it is something you will never, ever regret. And I ask my kids this all the time, who are grown, do you think I ever missed anything? They said, no, you never missed anything. And by the way, I used to yell at the refs, from the stands, and they wished I missed these things. So it's one of those things that I think is really, really important. Use your talents to be a mentor, because you get more out of it than the people you're mentoring generally, but it's a wonderful thing to do. And use your talents to support other organizations. We talked about, nonprofits and maybe a for-profit, but getting out there, it's something you have passion about. It's great to use your skills to work. You gain a lot of experience and a lot of satisfaction when you do that. So I also want to just say, remember to always, grow and develop your leadership skills. The same as you take training and try to develop your business skills. I think it's just as important for the success of anybody. And to do that, you should seek out mentors and teachers and role models, and also resources, whether it's, I'm familiar with a lot of women's organizations that have resources, but the Chamber and others have a lot of ways to help you develop your skills. And then, you know how it is. You observe and you store information and you can practice the positive things that you've seen in good leaders. And maybe you want to store those really negative things you've seen in poor leaders, but you don't want to duplicate that. So you want to, from all that, you want to develop your own leadership style and make it really something that works for you. So I think my overall story, you know, was I was focusing on, you know, learning, working hard, and developing leadership. That it worked for me because I've tried to think over the years how to boil down the things that were drivers of success. And I think if you do that, I mean, you could be more successful than you could ever imagine for yourself. I really believe that. And you can come from any background at any point in time, but you can develop a successful path. So I really hope that some of these thoughts make you think and think about some things you might want to change in your everyday life. And I've enjoyed every step of my journey, and I hope you will as well. But I have one last word of advice. Enjoy every step of the journey, but there's one important step that you cannot skip, and that's retirement. Because this is the most fantastic phase of the journey. And I'm telling you, people have a hard time retiring. It's not just financial, which is, of course, a key factor. It is the fact that, like, we're used to doing this all day, every day. What am I going to do when I retire? It is something, you know, work hard, but put that in your plan. Because you can contribute in so many different ways in that phase and enjoy your family and friends. But you've really earned it. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate the time to chat with you. Thank you.
We want to just take a moment to thank Donna and present her with these beautiful bouquet of flowers from Save with Flowers of Allen Park. So thank you so much, Donna. Let's take a picture. Actually, if you can hold it for a minute, I'm going to set this down. Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you. So that was just the perfect way to open up our first annual Women of Achievement Awards. So thank you so much, Donna, again, for that amazing keynote presentation. So we're going to begin our actual awards ceremony. And before I do that, we would like to acknowledge all of our nominees for each award category. And I want to say this. I want to say that I'm extremely proud of our event committee this year, who did a lot of work to send out the call for nominations, and then make sure that the nominations came in, according to the specifications that we had required. But I want to tell you this. I'm very proud of the way that they voted and came to choosing who our award recipients are this year. The names on each nomination form were blotted out. So therefore, the entire committee did not know who they were voting for, which I think was the right way to do it. So you can be rest assured that all of our award recipients and nominees are very worthy of these awards, and we're very honored to have the opportunity to recognize them today. So as I call your name, with each